Hey y'all, my name is Gillian. I'm a yoga teacher and I'm so excited that you guys have tuned in today. Digital Fitness Fest is a really cool opportunity just kind of to bring a little bit of awareness into what's happening in the fitness community right now. So I'm a full-time yoga teacher. I teach at Black Swan and at Austin Bouldering Project. Since the COVID-19 closures, it's been an interesting journey going from teaching in a public space to teaching on a virtual platform, but I'm excited at the opportunity to get to know you guys a little bit better and to get to show you a little bit about what I do. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna do a little yoga to counteract all that Netflix and chill we've been doing, or all that phone scrolling we've been doing. So I want you to start in a tabletop. So this can be done anywhere. If you have a yoga mat, awesome. If you don't, awesome. If you have a dog, great. It's gonna be slightly helpful, but also slightly distracting. Sit down, lay down. So tabletop, hands underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. You're gonna pull your navel in, and then we're just gonna start with some really simple cat-cow. So on your inhale, cow pose, you're gonna point your belly button down towards the floor, broaden through your chest, gaze up towards the ceiling or towards the sky, wherever you are. And then exhale, cat pose, round through your back, gaze towards your navel, and push in to the floor. And we're just gonna take that a couple more times. So inhale, cow pose, broaden through the chest. Exhale, cat pose, press through your hands, round through your back. 2 more times. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Once more. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And then really slowly, can you just start to come back to a neutral spine tabletop? So hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. And we're gonna take something that I like to call scapular push-ups. And by I like to call scapular push-ups, I mean, I think everybody calls them scapular push-ups. So you're gonna start by pushing away from the floor. And what this does is it creates this slight little dome in between the shoulder blades. That's what we want. This is a scapular engagement, your scapula or your shoulder blade. So you're gonna push away from the ground, and then you're gonna release it. And you're gonna do it again. Push away from the floor, and then release it. And we're gonna do that a couple more times. Push away, find that rounding, and then release. And then one more time, push away, you're gonna hold it. Then I want you to pull your navel in, engage the core, tuck your toes, take a big breath in. All right, buckle up, y'all. And on your exhale, you're gonna hover your knees a centimeter from the floor for beast pose. Keep pushing away from the ground, engage your core, look slightly past your fingertips. You keep holding it, I'm not, because I'm the captain of the ship. Keep pulling the navel in, push away from the floor, take a big breath in. You're here for 4, 3, 2, and then slowly lower down, take a couple of cows, a couple of cats, maybe a little wiggle from side to side. So what we're looking here to do is create an upper back engagement. Let's do it one more time. So start first with that scapular engagement. Push away from the floor, pull your navel in, tuck your toes, take a big breath in. On your exhale, push away, beast pose. Hover your knees, push away from the mat, engage the core. Keep going, you're doing so well, y'all. You're here for 4, last 3, final 2, and 1. Very nice. Take a moment here, another wiggle from side to side. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog, you're gonna push your hips up and back. So when you get into this down dog, take a moment here. It's really typical in a down dog that we focus a lot on the legs being straight, but for the purposes of right now, I want you to focus more on the knees being bent and pressing the chest back towards the thighs. So we're trying to find a nice elongation of the spinal column. It's also gonna create more of a broadening through your chest. Really pushing through your hands, just like when we were in that beast pose, and then let your head and neck relax. Then on your inhale, you're gonna look forward. On your exhale, you're gonna take teeny, tiny little baby steps. I'm not going anywhere. To the top of your mat. I hope you can still see this, even though, you know, Leroy is in the way. This is Leroy, by the way, you guys. And then you're gonna bend your knees a lot, step your feet hips width distance apart. And then you're gonna interlace your hands behind your back for a chest expansion. Now, if you find that you have really strong shoulders, you can always grab a towel, a strap, a shirt, whatever, a sash. Well, I don't know what your life is like, but you can grab any of those things to give yourself a little bit more space. And then you're just gonna fold forward and sway a little bit side to side. If this feels good, you can draw your knuckles and your palms closer together. And you can also just start to point the chest. Is it a hard life? Is it a rough life, Leroy? You can point the chest from one side to the other. Good. And then when you're ready, release your hands down towards the ground. Toe heel your feet together to touch or to the distance that feels good to you. So that can be whatever it is for you. Inhale, halfway lift, place your hands onto your shins or the floor. Roll your shoulders back, draw your chest forward, lengthen through the back of your neck, and then exhale, forward fold, let everything go. So try it one more time. Inhale, halfway lift. And again, if you notice, my knees are soft here, so there's no need to have your legs super, super straight, especially if you're not warmed up like I'm not warmed up. And then fold it down. Okay, so inhale, mountain pose. You're gonna rise all the way up to standing. Reach your hands overhead at the top. Press down evenly through all four corners of your feet. And you remember when we were in that beast pose and we were thinking about pulling the navel in? I want you to feel that same sensation here of drawing the navel up and in. Reach the arms overhead, take a big breath in. On your exhale, you're gonna grab onto your left wrist with your right hand, side body stretch up and over to your right. And I want you to really focus here on rotating the chest open, but plugging that left shoulder down and away from your ear. Good. Then you're gonna step your left foot behind and across your right foot. So if you notice, all of the weight is still in my front leg. That back heel is lifted from the floor, and you wanna keep trying to point the hips forward. Then take a big breath in. Exhale, curtsy squat with airplane arms. So you're gonna bend your knees a lot. Sweep the hands back behind you. Think rather than drawing the chest down towards the floor, can you keep the chest lifted and up? So we're trying to roll those shoulders back, opening up the chest, counteracting all of that, sitting we might be doing. And then for this transition, you're gonna slide your legs together. So inhale, one-legged mountain pose. Slowly slide the knees together. Lift your arms up. Flex your foot, lose your balance, whatever works. Pull your navel in, take a big breath in. And then exhale, chair pose with airplane arms. So you're gonna plant your feet, bend your knees, sweep your hands back. Then interlace your hands behind your back. Excuse you, sir, where do you think you're going? Sit down, please. Sit down. It's fine. Take a big breath in. Exhale, forward fold, take it down. Good. Then we're just back where we started, right? Wiggling from side to side of that chest expansion. Leroy's living his own life. He's doing his own thing. And then you're gonna release your hands down to the floor. Now inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Excuse me, sir, we're trying to do something here. Inhale. Inhale, mountain pose, rise all the way up just to where we were before. This time you're gonna grab onto your right wrist with your left hand. Side body stretch, reach up and over to your left. Rotate open through the chest, pull the navel up and in. Then step your right foot behind and across your left foot. Trying to point the hip bones forward, pull your navel in, roll your shoulder blades away from your ears. And then curtsy squat with your arms behind you. You're gonna bend your knees, sweep your hands back, draw your chest forward. Leroy. Good, roll your shoulder blades away from your ears. And then slide your knees together. Inhale, one-legged mountain pose. Slowly pull that knee up. Engage your core, actively reach overhead. And then exhale, chair pose with airplane arms. Plant your feet, bend your knees, sweeping the hands back. So we're just moving the arms around in the shoulder sockets. We're gonna create a little bit more space. And then interlace the hands behind the back once more. Take a big breath in, puff up the chest. And then exhale, forward fold, take it down. This is why they always say don't work with dogs and babies. This is the moment right here. Then, when you're ready, release your hands to the floor. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. And then your choice on how you want to get back to down dog. So you can step back, you can jump back, you can do a chaturanga, you could levitate or apparate or whatever works. I'm just gonna step back, come down to my knees, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, little ponytail flip, push away from the floor. Downward facing dog, use your core to press up and back. So, you can do that forever, honestly. You could do it for the entire rest of the quarantine. So, we're just working here, that movement of the arms to open up the chest. A little bit of core engagement helps us keep our spines long and active. Other than that, if you want to do a little Core-antine, it's quality, you guys. We're gonna start by laying down on our backs. We'll finish out with a little Core-antine. So, wipe off all the cat hair from your leggings, and then extend your legs up overhead. So you're gonna flex your feet, pull your navel in, and then you're gonna bring your legs out to a V. So you don't want them super wide, but you also don't want them super close together, just like slightly outside of the hip creases. then you're gonna either interlace your hands behind your head, draw your elbows out wide, or you can take a steeple grip, interlace all 10 fingers, then release your index finger. It is so bright out here in the world. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, you're gonna lift up and try to reach your fingertips in between the ankles, and then inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift back up. And you can just keep going like this forever. If you'd like to add on a little bit more, as you lift up, you're gonna cross one ankle in front of the other, come back down, cross the other ankle in front of the other, come back down. All right, here we go, now we're working. If you start to feel pressure in your neck, no worries, just bring your hands behind your head and keep moving. Is this tiring you, sir? Good. We're just gonna be here for 4, last 3, final 2, and 1. Very nice. Woo! That was good. All right. So that's about it that I got today, you guys. It was so nice to get to spend a little bit of time for you. Again, my name is Gillian. I am a yoga teacher, and you can find me online at instagram.com/Gillian Eliza. And from that page, you can actually access a lot of my online videos through Vimeo, and I do some live streaming on Instagram as well. I can't wait to connect with you, and we will get through this together, y'all.